There it is. Look at that.
This game kicks ass!
Yeah. Game over, Crash. There he goes. Alright, next up we got Crash Bandicoot.
What?
You heard of this game? They got this crazy bandicoot who spins around and kills people.
That sounds fake. What, is he like, are you gonna say like he wears jorts and they originally called this like Sonic's ass game or some dumb shit?
Well, funny you should say that. Now this is another good one because this one is several months out from release. This you can see where they have most of the levels in place, I believe, but there's a lot of differences. And there's Naughty Dog's phone number. Let's call him up.
No, don't. It's probably some poor
It's probably
person.
some grandma now.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of placeholders here. Instead of the title screen, you get this unique animation of the of the villains here.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. I don't think the Lady Bandicoot's face moves. She just kind of wobbles.
Kinda does, yeah. Let's see. Scarlet Swordfish says Chris Bandicoot, so that's good.
Chris Bandicoot.
Which...
Hope this is not Chris Bandicoot's blood. And this, the map screen looks totally different. It seems like they wanted to split this map screen across 3 islands. I think that was changed to 2 in the final, and they were all 3D rendered as well. Know if this was intended for the final? Well, this is detailed enough where they might have intended this for retail. Maybe that was a very late change.
Crush Gal says Crash Redfield, so...
Oh no. Start drawing your crossover fan art now.
Actually, yes.
Make sure it's sexy. Make Crash Bandicoot punching a boulder. There you go.
Just give George to Chris Redfield.
Agreed. So, no music. The geometry looks mostly the same as the final. Enemies are a little bit less detailed. Lighting's not the same, but all the sound effects are in place. You can clearly hear Crash breaking the boxes and gobbling up the lump of fruits as he does. But the font's different, and there's just a few minor little differences that you'll only notice if you're a Crash freak like me.
A Crash freak, huh?
Yep, that's me. My defining trait is that I'm a freak for Crash Bandicoot.
Listen, I've seen your Fur Affinity account. I know.
Oh, yeah.
The way you said, oh yeah, makes me sad. Don't.
Oh, no music here for when you're invincible. Also, he has little sparklies trailing him for some reason. I guess he does in the final as well, but it does look different. Break all the boxes. Still got the split path. Yeah, so Naughty Dog, it seems like they focused on level design, just getting all the levels in place and then just polishing afterwards. That's a pretty good approach. I guess that's what you would do after you finalize the engine and get the whole thing running. So I suppose this is a little bit later than the Resident Evil game. This is like, at this point, all you need is polish, pretty much. And you're waiting on artists to provide the final art, things like that.
Thank you, Trough of Luxury. We got 100 bits, and Trough says, Retro Pals, the stream for Crash Freaks.
Yep, welcome Crash Freaks to CrashCon 2018. Step through the line for your free pair of jorts. In any case, this goes on for several more levels, and you'll only notice the differences if, like me, you're a Crash freak. But for now, I want to show off the unique game over screen, because that's not in any other version. Overall, though, this seems fairly complete. I'd put this around 70-80%, assuming most of the levels are there. It's all about polish at this point. And you die, and you get to see the greatest game over screen.
I'm excited.
Check this out. Check it out. It's gonna load. There it is. Look at that.
This game kicks ass!
Yeah. Game over, Crash. There he goes. Yeah, this is a pretty cool beta. I'd recommend checking this out. There's probably a lot of interesting stuff to dig through this if you're the type to data mine, so please do if you have not already. Add a page on tcrf.net if one doesn't exist. I want to see more about this. Next up, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
I wish this was Tony Hawk's Pro Edit.
He's a good video editor.
He is.
I'll give him that.
I like Tony Hawk's editing style.
Now, this beta is pretty old. I remember this floating around the ISO sites I didn't used to visit back then.
Oh yeah, I was never there either.
Yeah, they'd always have downloads for Tony Hawk 1, 2, and the beta of Tony Hawk 1, which usually those big ROM sites didn't bother with the betas because they were always so similar, but this one was apparently so different that there was demand for it to be distributed. And it was. It was everywhere.
I got confirmation from BMF that we got that there's already a TCRF article for Crash Bandicoot.
Excellent.
Proto.
Good to hear.
It's Tony.
Yep, there's Tony. You can be Tony. And here they just give you all the different levels you can play in. So let's go ahead and do the school, let's say. It's been a while since I played Tony Hawk 1, but I do know that this beta is fairly different. So far the structure's there. You got 2 minutes to do as many tricks as you can, and you do combos to get better scores. The grinding's in, the grab tricks are in. Pretty much all the basics. If you played a Pizza Hut demo disc back in the day, you probably also played a demo of this game. I think there was also a beta version in PlayStation Underground as well. So people had plenty of chances to play Tony Hawk before its release. Oh, no wall rides. As long as I can grind. And unfortunately no music, so no Power Man 5000 just yet.
That also means no Twitch muting, so that's nice.
Oh yeah, that is good.
Would you like me to provide music?
That's okay.
Are you sure? Because, you know, dun 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 dun, my Dragula, it's my Dragula. I love being in my Dragula. It's a Dragula, baby. I haven't heard this song in years.
Yeah, I don't think you have. Whoa! Sideways through the fans.
You okay?
I'm good. I'm just a little chopped up, that's
okay.
Fine. Chopped and screwed.
Thank you, Rondo Dad, for resubscribing.
Nice, thank you.
4 months in a row. 4 months in a row, and your reward is Tony getting his body blasted.
So for this level, it looked like to me most of the geometry was there already. That looked pretty familiar to me. But some of these levels, they're in various states of disrepair, or more like pre-production, really.
Yeah, how was Dracula by the B-52s? It's a Dracula, baby!
Get in the back of my Dragula! Let's be Jeff Rowley. Let's get rowdy with Jeff Rowley.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's go to the mall.
Yes! Let's go to Spencer's.
Yeah, let's go to Hot Topic.
Let's go.
The Hot Topic is new now, it's cool.
Yeah, it's
They
brand
haven't started
new.
selling Funko Pops yet.
Hey, there's music.
Whoa! They got the Primus in here. This was the music that played during one of those early beta version demos. I think it was the PlayStation Underground one. This was the first time I heard Jerry was a race car driver. Okay, mall seems pretty intact so far. Winter Roach? Yeah, some of these textures are early.
Some of these textures kick ass, honestly.
And also Primus gave up and went home.
They were tired. Let's see.
Dude was like, you don't deserve my masterful bass guitar. There's rings?
We got 85 bits from Magmaram, who says, do Downhill Jam.
Okay, I will do.
And Electric
what?
Boogaloo's... Rip Tony! Tony Baloney. Electric Boogaloo says, fun fact, one of Neversoft's earlier games, Exodus, did have a trailer on the Interactive CD Sampler Volume 4, but was cancelled soon after. Okay, let's see. Bad Game Hall of Fame says, hey, do me a favor and check the stack of boxes near the end of the level.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah, this is one of a few downhill levels that were in the game that didn't quite mesh with the whole rest of the game's formula. Here in this beta, you actually see they played a much greater role, and maybe the game was originally supposed to be entirely downhill jam. That's my theory, anyway. But let's try and get to the end of this so we can find that big pile of boxes.
My big pile of boxes. I know Dracula wasn't in this, but...
Oh, I missed them.
Oh, we missed them, sorry.
You're gonna have to tell me what that was. But yeah, the downhill jam levels are interesting because once you reach the bottom, it's all like, you win! And then it stops the whole level, even if you have time left. That's kind of completely different from what they went for in the sequels, like every other Tony Hawk game. At this point, the game feels like it's split between two gameplay styles, and some of that still survived for the final version. Let's play... What was it?
Downhill Jam.
Downhill Jam. Let's do that. Yeah, this was the other level where you reach the bottom and it ends. But at least at this point in development, it felt like every level was supposed to have an end point. Like you were supposed to end your run by reaching the end. Wow, I fell on a mountain. That was cool.
What got you there?
I don't even know. Yet despite all that, the gameplay is all here. You can play this like a Tony Hawk game, doing the same tricks and everything with the same buttons. So the basics are in place, they just have months and months of polish to go. And they gotta decide whether this is a trick game or a downhill game, and in the end, they only half decided. This also goes to show how chaotic development can be. Like, even by the end, they hadn't decided whether or not to get rid of the downhill jam levels.
I like that the geometry was chasing you.
It was, yeah. Also in this beta are a couple of levels that didn't make the cut for the final version. Let's play one of those.
Okay. Bad Game Hall of Fame mentions that the boxes, you probably couldn't get them because the ramp to them wasn't there, but the boxes originally had originally were boxes advertising Bruce Willis in Apocalypse with a picture of one of the developer's girlfriend on the backside of them.
Cool.
And Bad Game Hall of Fame just wanted to know if they were...
Dang. Well, this beta is pretty widely available, so you can check that out if you want. There is also a beta of Apocalypse, and I was really hoping it was that early version where Bruce Willis was your partner instead of the main character. If you don't know, the original scope for that game, the original pitch was Bruce Willis is your buddy, and he will help you out while you shoot the bad guys. And halfway through development, executives were all like, wait, this is just a waste of Bruce Willis, why can't we just have him be the star? And so they had to rush and remake the game with Bruce Willis as the star. But that beta...
Toilets!
But that beta that exists, it's unfortunately after they made that change, so it's pretty close to final.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How did you know that's exactly what I wanted you to do? You're an angel.
Now this level was not in the final version. This is a freeway that you can jump off of, and there's a skate park down here, because that's how the skater's world works. Yeah, I survived that, it's fine. I think the world also ends in this version. Yeah, let's see if I can get out of bounds. Oh, maybe not. They thought of that. You're free, Tony. You're
Go!
free.
Run!
Run through the fields. You're free. You're free. Oh.
Oh, man.
Back to the floating freeway, Tony.
Tony, you can never be free.
Yeah, this is just another reason why I like these betas and prototypes. You get to see unused, cut stuff. Most importantly, in the original context that it would have been included.
Mm-hmm.
It's great when you have playable versions of this instead of having to dig through code and kind of having to mentally piece together how it would work. That's good too. I appreciate that research, but man, these few betas that have playable cut content are the best. I love them.
Yeah, it is really neat to see it is always neat to see stuff that never got included, see like you mentioned earlier where the developers were, development-wise, what they focused on. It's a really looking at prototypes is a really neat way to kind of examine how games are made, honestly.
I love protos.
I do too.
Give them to me.
Give me them all too.
Okay, we're just gonna spend a couple minutes with this one because we got a thing to do, but this is Croc. Y'all know Croc. We featured him on Mascot Friday a few weeks ago. He was worse than Gex, I think.
Rip Croc.
But maybe that wouldn't have always been the case. Let's see what this prototype's like. There he is.
There he is!
Looking kind of doofy.
That's good.
The font on the title's different. It's hard to say what they were thinking of going with Croc at this point. Was he still like the cute little mascot? Did he have an attitude? Well, let's find out.
I hope he didn't have an attitude. He doesn't need an attitude. He's Croc.
He is.
He can make it on his own.
Now check out his silhouette there. It was said before that this was originally a Yoshi game before Nintendo split off from him. And you can see in that silhouette, yeah, that's totally fucking Yoshi.
That's Yoshi!
It's Yoshi with a big tooth.
That is fucking Yoshi!
Yeah, by the time it made it to final, it was less obvious. But hey, look at this. It's still got tank controls. It's still very Bubsy 3D-ish. But here's the thing, when you jump, it happens right away. There's no delay, and the camera doesn't shift upward. As a result, this game plays very differently from the final version.
This looks better!
In some ways, yeah, it kind of is. He's much faster, more agile. It felt like they kind of slowed him down, made him a little clunkier to make people get used to how he controls. But here it's much looser. They just kind of trusted the player to be able to deal with the controls. I guess for the final, they basically hedged their bets. Let's slow things down a little bit. Don't want people to get too upset with Croc right away.
Alright, we got a question from the Electric Boogaloo. Does analog control work with this?
Analog control does not work with this. That was something they had to add later on. I think this beta was from before the analog controller was a thing.
Look at the clipping there.
Mm-hmm. Also, the HUD's different. These gems don't move.
That HUD is the most Amiga shit I've ever seen.
It really is. Whoa, what happened with the camera there?
Oh, bad stuff.
That's true. I think there's music here, but it's very quiet.
Yeah, it's real quiet.
I think I made him break in midair somehow. Yeah, look at that. You can make him run and then break.
Oh my god!
He didn't do it that time. Hang on. Check this out. Yeah. That's... Wow. Otherwise, he's still kind of clumsy to control. Hooray! And whereas he says Yazoo when he butt stomps in the final version, here he says Whoa!
Nice.
And that's Croc. This is still several months out. They still got a lot of polish to do, but the basics are in there. You can play this and get the gist of it. Just maybe show it to some journalists or something. Be like, hey, here's the new Mario killer that's coming out. This guy's gonna literally kill Mario.
Please don't.
So lots of clipping, and you can just go through all the walls. Wait a minute. Back up, Croc. Oh, he can back up. Weird. Okay, it was starting me inside the area loading zone. That's why all the graphics were weird. After I stepped out of the loading zone and backed in, it started to load. Also, he faces the wrong way every time you enter a level.
Okay, so that's interesting. Electric Boogaloo mentions that by the time the Croc demo was on the sampler disc 4, it had working analog controls, so
Yeah.
had it in by then.
And apparently, none of these levels look like they were in the final version. Wow.
Mm-mm.
Is that just a dick and balls?
Danny, you filthy yes.
It's not just me, right?
You are filthy.
Croc, you are too
Because
filthy
here's
for
the
Twitch.
thing. You see a dick and balls, and I see a uterus. So...
Can they get along? Yeah, I see it. I see it. Croc, you got a lot to learn, little guy. You gotta learn what's market appropriate. We're sending you back to the beta mines.
Thank you, Blab. Thank you, Blab, for understanding it as a uterus. I appreciate it.
Either way, it does not belong in this children's game.
I do agree.